6 and 7, if you follow along. Cain brought an offering to God from the produce of his farm. Abel also brought an offering, but from the firstborn animal of his hands, choice cut meat. God liked Abel and his offering, and Cain and his offering didn't get his approval. Cain lost his temper and went to sulk. Actually, he got just depressed. He was just like, man, you don't like my offering? All right. You know how sometimes God tell you something and you get upset with him and you be like, I can't do nothing right. You just go into self-pity and self, like I just can't get it right. God don't want you to say that. He don't want you to do that. He wants you to get it right. And he said, God says, spoke to Cain, why this tantrum? Why are you sulking? If you do well, won't you be accepted? If you just do well, God ain't asking you to be perfect. He asking you to just do well. Make good decisions, right? And if you don't do well, sin is lying waiting for you, ready to pounce. It's out to get you. You got to master it. So you know the story of Cain. He couldn't master that sin. That demon was sitting there crouching. Crouching.
Amen.
Crouching, waiting on him.
That's right.
So when unforgiveness is in your heart, bitterness creates, there's a demon crouching, waiting to enter into your life.
That's right.
Crouching, waiting for that opportunity. So I put a picture of this crouching demon. You know, it's just a picture. I don't know telling what that demon looked like, but that's a crouching demon. It crouches at the door of your heart.
Right.
Crouches at the door of your soul. It creates bitterness. The church is not talking about it. They don't even discuss it. So nobody won't get delivered from it. God says, Cain, you got to master this thing. And how do you master it? You forgive and do well.
That's right. That's right.
Number 2, things that happens when the symptoms of unforgiveness. Dwelling on negative events. One of the most reliable means of detecting unforgiveness is when a person dwells on negative events. Unforgiving persons will replay the negative event over and over in their minds and refuse to submit them to the Lord for his command. Sometimes an unforgiving believer would tell other people about their events, and sometimes they will not. Some refuse to say anything, and some cannot stop talking about it. Satan's biggest assault on the believer is to cause negative events to take place in the believer's life, to get them to focus their whole spiritual journey on that one event.
That's right. That's right.
Most ministries are birthed off one event, off a negative event. Resentment, hurt, anger. They mad, church hurt. So let me go to our church. Let me go to the ministry. Something happened in their life and they say, I got to create a ministry out of it. It don't happen that way. God don't call you that way. When God called you, he gives you an assignment, he gives you a vision. Just like God called you, he gives you an assignment, he gives you a vision, and then he don't talk to you for a long time.
That's right. That's right. Amen.
It can be 13, it can be 20, it can be 40 years. He don't say nothing.
That's right.
Abraham got a word that he will be the father of all nations, that he will have a child.
Right.
It took him a long time for that child to be born. I think it was like 30, 40 years for that child to even become. So can you imagine holding on to a word that long? But if he would have waited on some negative event in his life to take place, and then said, he did that. Actually, his wife did it. Say, go sleep with her. So this word can come to pass now. So sometimes women, no, not no women will push you into a ministry to do a ministry when you ain't called to do it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of push. But a woman can't push you into a ministry that you ain't called to do. And 95% of the churches are built that way. So how do we fix it? I'm going to show you how we fix it. Paul teaches us in Philippians 2 and 13 to forget those things that are behind and reach for the goal in Christ Jesus. So you got to forget those things. Right? Negative events. Let's see about negative events. We got molestation. We got rape. We got abandonment. We got all these negative events that happen in our lives. I battled with it myself. I had got church hurt from a pastor one time, and I was like, man, I'm gonna start a ministry. It's time to start. Man, God has a way of protecting.
Yes, he does.
Because I was like, I'm gonna start today. I ain't know nothing. I was hurt.
Right.
You know, I was hurt. But the way I dealt with it and the way I got through it was, God didn't let it happen. Like when you call about God, He stops you from this, He stopped you from that. You can't do it. You can't do it. So, right? So look, this is the demon of torment. So what happens when you don't deal with this negative events? You get demon of torment. Right? Y'all gonna get free today, right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna get free today. Oh, I sensed it when I came in that there's some people that's getting tormented in their sleep. Ain't sleeping at night. Amen. Hey, look, causes you to cut yourself. It causes you to cut yourself. Demon of torment will cause you to cut yourself. It'll cause you to go get tattoos to prove your love to someone. You'll mark your body to prove your love to someone. Right? I know. I got a couple of names on my body. Right? This is not me telling you. This is not. See, I'm not sitting up here telling you I ain't do it. I ain't up high telling you, I'm better than you, I'm doing it. No, this is deliverance. And I'm had to walk this deliverance out myself. Cause you to get tattoos, cause people to kill themselves. There's people on a mass scale killing themselves. It's a demon of torment. They don't even know what to do. They don't know how to handle life. And the church, there's people killing themselves in the church. There's pastors' kids killing themselves. How are you preaching to everybody else but you can't get your son saved?
You go ahead.
And your son commits suicide. You can't deal with that demon of torment? You got my son right there. I talk to him every day. In the car all day long. Whether he listens or not, he gets it. He can put his earplugs in, I'm still talking. Right? I ain't gonna ever shut up. Right? Called drug abuse, alcoholism. Demon of torment will cause you to go get addicted to drugs and cause you to be on alcohol because you gotta numb this thing. Why this thing harbored in my life? I gotta go find some way to numb it. And you're not dealing with it. You don't deal with it, so you go get alcohol. You go pick up drugs, right? You take medication for depression. I talked about that last time I was here. They can't even diagnose you with depression because of they don't even know why. They just get money off of it.
That's all.
Yeah. It causes mental disorders. This demon will cause you to be mentally disordered, where you feel like you can't accomplish anything. You go through moments and bouts where you just have a brain freeze. Where you just brain just foggy. You don't know. You wake up foggy. You don't know what's going on. You don't even know where you at sometimes. Right? This demon is linked to homelessness. Homelessness. To where it brings you to a place where you're homeless. Because you think nobody loves you. You pull away from family members. You feel like, I'm asking too many questions. I'm asking too much money. I'm asking for too much. I'd rather go sleep on a bridge. I'm better off sleeping in a car. I've been there. I was dealing with this demon, a torment. To where I couldn't even love my wife and my kids right. I was like, I'm going to walk out. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to go sleep in on the bridge. I'm better off this way. They better off this way. It calls sleepless nights. This demon will cause sleepless nights. And this demon causes you to go into ungodly soul ties. Soul ties. When someone say, I'm your soulmate, there can't be a soulmate. Ain't no such thing. We do this all the time. I did it when I was young. Oh, girl, you're my soulmate. That's the fastest way to a pants is to tell her I was your soulmate. You know? So we go through this thing where we tie our souls with someone else. Even when you lose someone, you lose a spouse, you lose a child, you soul tie yourself to that child. And if you ain't careful, that child will come and visit you at night. That demon will manifest at night.
Yes, he will.
And show up on your dresser and start talking to you. It's called a familiar spirit. So you got to cut soul ties. You got to cut those ties. The Bible says you can go on 7 days or 30 days. Because God knows if you go any longer, you're going to be soul connected. I know a young lady who lost a close sister to her, and we went to go visit, and next thing you know, there was a shrine in the house. I was like, oh, you soul connected. You soul tied to this woman, to this little girl. She belongs to God. You can't make shrines of kids and parents.
No, you can't.
You got to hold them within your heart.
That's right. That's right.
You remember the good things, because they're not remembering no good things, no bad things on earth, right?
Right.
So how you hold on to them? You got to let them go.
Gotta let them go.
This demon of torment will cause you to hold on to ungodly relationships. Ungodly relationships. All right, number 3. I'm moving on. Number 3. God, I hope I can take my time, because this is a heavy message that the church really, really need to talk about.
Yeah, we need.
We need this message. We need people to hear this.
Amen.
Because you can talk about a hope and a glory all day.
Thank you.
You can talk, oh, you're going to be financially rich all day. But what does it gain a man to have his whole world in his hands and then lose a soul?
Amen. Amen.
He have all the riches in the world, but lose a soul.
Jesus, believe.
You can be soul tied to your money,
Yeah, you can.
to your earthly possessions.
That's right.
There's people soul tied to their dogs.
That sure is.
They love their dogs more than people. Michael Vick is a perfect example. Michael Vick had got caught up in a dog fighting ring, and he went to jail for 18 months. Lost everything. There's people killing somebody, and they don't go to jail at all.
That's right.
But over some dogs, he went to prison. The same football players in the same league, his name was Dante Stallworth. I just called it name out. Dante Stallworth. He break somebody, got over in the car. He got no time. They didn't even value human life. They valued the dog.
That's right, baby.
They connected souls to the dog. Right?
That's right.
So here you go. Let's go on to the next one.
Amen over here.
You will feel pain. Number 3. You will feel pain. Symptoms of unforgiveness. Pain. Pain means a high-pitched sound. That means heart starts thumping. Very high pitch. Ears start ringing. When a person walks in a room, that hurts you. A person walking in a room that hurts you, start, I can't be in a room with them. I gotta get out. You start feeling some type of way, right? That's what that is, right? It's a pain. And then when someone mentions their name, let me go back. If a person that hurts you enters the room and someone mentions their name, you feel feeling of being pain. Your heart hurts like a broken heart. You get angry. You want to run or hide when they enter the room. You start telling people, or you don't want to tell, or you don't tell anyone. You have unforgiveness in your heart. This is pain. So pain is a moment when someone walks in a room and you automatically feel some type of way. And a lot of this times happens in kids. When the kids go to school, they run against a bully or something. They want to run the other way. They start getting anxiety. But the best way to deal with a bully is, bro, I love you. And I forgive you. And maybe your parents, maybe you have unforgiveness in your heart, brother. Can I pray for you? Like once, I told my brother one time, it was my brother, I told him, I said, hey man, he said, man, these dudes want to fight me. Just ask them, do you want prayer? I guarantee you they ain't going to be able to raise their fist. Who gonna want to fight somebody? Hey, man, hey, don't hit me. Hey, you want prayer? Oh man, this dude. I want to knock him out, right? So look, so when you're dealing with this one, even adults deal with this one. You have a baby mama, or you have an ex-wife, or you have someone that hurt you in the family. When they come in the room, you want to run. You want to go visit them. When they mention their name, you want to change the channel. You want to talk about something else. That's pain. That's the demon of pain. That's the demon of bondage, really. I'm going to go into it, what that demon does. It's a demon of bondage. Wow. This demon causes massive hatred and guilt, horrific dreams that give you terror-stricken feeling, homicidal thoughts, acute low self-esteem, which means that's just another definition for a highly low self-esteem, where you always think somebody is talking about you. Right? Abnormal medical problems, such as seizures, unexplained headaches and stomach pains, sudden chills. This is what this demon of bondage does. I remember one time we was in a church and this lady had a demon of bondage. She was she was bound up real bad, and she was in witchcraft. She was in all kind of things. Her people that she was staying with, her family members she was staying with, was involved in witchcraft. She wasn't necessarily involved in it, but because she laid her head into a house where a Christian went over, she was subjected to the demonic attacks. And sometimes you just got to be careful where you send your kids to.
That's right. That's right.
You got to be careful where you let your kids go stay at. You think you're doing, oh, they can have sleepovers. How long do they need to have sleepovers for? How old they got to keep going to have sleepovers?
Come on.
Eventually they sneaking out the window. At a certain age, they ain't sleeping over nowhere. All right? So what happens is, when you're dealing with this, so I'll go back to the lady. She wanted to be set free. And the story is kind of funny, I'm gonna be honest with you. It wasn't funny on that situation, but it's funny how people that's untaught try to deal with demons. Because they have no spiritual awareness on how to deal with them. Because the church don't talk about it, right? I just said the church don't talk about it. So this is proof how the church deal with it, right? Because it's proof in the fruits of how they deal with the demons. That's how I know the church ain't talking about it. So we was dealing with this lady. This lady came in. I was outside talking to this guy. My wife came running out and she's like, "Hey, come here. Oh my God, come here. Oh Lord, oh Lord." She was like, "Come here, please, please. Code 10. Code 10, we got a demon. Code 10, we got a demon in the house." Like she went secret agent on me. She was like, "We got a demon in the house. We got to do something about this thing." And the guy was like, he was sitting up there, he was like, the demon was cussing the lady out. The lady over this event. She was having a church, she was over the church. This demon was cussing her out, called her a witch, called her all kind of things. And she was like, "Get the kids out of here, get the kids." No, you don't move the kids. You don't tell the kids to leave. These children need to experience this stuff.
That's right.
They need to see what demons are really like. Jesus never said, "Go put the kids in the corner while I cast out this demon."
That's right.
He cast that demon out in front of them. So they can grow up and know the way. Right? So this demon was cutting up. And these young ladies, they were like, "Love." This is the love message now. Remember, hyper grace. This is what these churches doing now, right? "Oh, I love her. You gotta love her out of her. Love it out of her." That demon was cut. That demon was looking at them like a little crazy. You can't love a demon out of somebody. You can't even hug a demon out of somebody. Jesus never hugged a demon. That's not even scripture based, right? But there was this love doctrine they teaching. Oh, you gotta love them out. Love on them. Love on them. Went around that corner. I was like, oh, my wife's like, oh, this is going down today. I went around that corner. I was like, oh yeah, you coming out today. Oh yeah, you definitely coming out. You would not stand another moment in this lady's life. Instantly. Within 3 minutes. What they spent an hour trying to do, it took 3 minutes. It ain't even about me. It was the power of God that released her.
That's right. That's right.
So, let's move on to the next one. Number 4. I didn't put the 4 on there, so it's a typo. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Inability to recognize God's presence. Unforgiveness will cause you the inability to recognize when God is really present in your life. Satan can use unforgiveness to form a barrier between the person and the Lord. God cannot forgive those who refuse to forgive someone else. Unforgiven sin separates us from God. It must be willful violation of the unforgiven person to forgive. It got to be a willful violation for forgiving person to forgive. It must become their desire to submit their life to God's will and love Him more than obtaining revenge. Nobody is exempt from God's commands. Forgive, no matter the circumstances. In prayer, there is a connection between what God does and what you do. You can't get forgiveness from God, for instance, without also forgiving others. If you refuse to do your part, you will get cut off from God's part. That is Matthew 6, 14 and 15. So God will cut you off. He cut Cain completely off because of unforgiveness. God will cut you off. And to be cut off from God, ain't nothing, man. There ain't nothing in this world worth getting cut off from God. Ain't no matter pain, no matter what the circumstances is, I don't care what it is, cut you off from God. He's our life source. So this last demon I'm going to deal with, it's a long one. And it's a bad one.
Yes, it is.
It destroys ministries. It destroys the church. It destroys people. People's biggest fight in life is with this demon. And then when I talk about it, you might feel a tug. You might feel something twirling on the inside. That's because it's there. And we're going to deal with it today.
Come on.
It's going to come out today so you can have a free life. Because God wants you to be in liberty. He don't want you to be bound up with these demons and dealing with this stuff at night. So this demon of affectation is called the pretender spirit. Pretender. It means pretend. To pretend to look like something that you're not. Have you ever dealt with someone in church? You say, hey, sister, how you doing? I'm blessed and highly favored.
Amen. Come on now.
And you're broken. It's okay to be broken. It's okay to be broken before God. How can you ever get healed if you're not broken?
Come on now.
Stop pretending. Don't pretend. People are here to help you. This spirit is behavior or speech designed to impress people. We begin to cultivate talents and abilities out of oppression in sports and arts, or arts and sports. We develop talents out of this, out of affectation. Most, no offense to the keyboard guys or the drummers, most people that play keyboards and instruments deal with this demon all the time. Because they can hide behind it.
Yeah, they can have it.
They can play music behind it.
That's right. That's right.
They can cover it up.
Thank you.
It can be covered. Because they don't play the music good, nobody's dealing with their demons or their insecurities. Nobody's dealing with it.
Nobody.
Because they play the music good, so they get paid to play the music and nobody's dealing with it.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with music, but you gotta deal with it. I know this guy who used to play music, and he used to play it so much. And I went to the pastor, I said, Pastor, man, he has a demon in him. Every time he plays music, there's lust being played over the congregation. Well, you know, that's my grandson. I can't keep him out of the church. I'm like, you don't get rid of him, your church gonna fall apart.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. That's right.
Find out the dude was sleeping with everybody.
Wow.
All the women. And the men. He was sleeping with a lot of them. Because the only reason why they kept him around, because guess what? Those keys. He can play. His talent covered it up. And I'm trying to expose the talent. That talent is not supposed to be played in God's house.
That's right. Preach the word. Preach the word. Who want to hear it?
So just like sports, say for instance, sports, a big one. When a child is grow up in a single parent household, more like their mother, they try their hardest to be in the NBA. Most of the guys in the NBA right now are there because they was raised by a single mother.
That's right.
And what do they do with them? What do they do when they get there? They gonna mark their bodies up, get tattoos everywhere, all over their body. They've been tormented. And they think their talent's gonna hide it. But we go to games all the time, supporting them. We buy their jerseys. We buy tickets to the game. There's nothing wrong with it. But you gotta know there's a demon of affectation in their life. That's why none of them can be married. They on reality shows after they finish. Demon affectation. Most people adapted that ability because we were being oppressed. Because they were being oppressed. Then it becomes an escape. You ever notice how it becomes an escape for you?
Yep.
To go out to like, man, we always say, oh, I need a man cave so I can escape. I need a man cave so I can escape. Escape what? What you escaping from? Your kids? Your responsibility? What you escaping from? You gonna go down in the basement and have a man cave and never come up? Hey, dinner's ready. I'm good. I'm good. What you escaping from? Don't escape. Because guess what? When you go upstairs, the reality is still going to be there. What are you escaping from? I was big. I'm going to have your man cave, baby. Ooh, so like that house on that man cave. I was like, what? What you escaping from? You going to go hide in the cave? Come on, think about it. You hiding in darkness. You're hiding in darkness. You going to go hide in a cave? Most man caves are full of pornography. And wives don't even go down and investigate.
Wow. You better preach. Thank you, Jesus.
If we do not seek complete healing in this area of our life, we'll find ourselves associating our ability with who we are and seek the applause of people for approval of people because of our acting or performance. We create an alter ego that will get before people and get approval. We create an alter ego. We create an ego. Tyler Perry, I know y'all love him, but he created an alter ego.
That's right. That's right.
Medea.
Praise the Lord.
No, you love him, but he created an alter ego. And now he got famous off that alter ego. Beyonce created an alter ego. Sasha Fierce. They get more money. But it's affectation. It's a demon affectation. Got to be seen. Got to be heard. I want to talk about some people in here.
Go ahead.
They passed away, and they dealt with this demon, and they sat around people all the time. And Christians, they say Christians, right? Because this person want to hide has been messed up or hurt or deframed in our minds. We feed that person is shameful or shouldn't be seen. So we create an altered identity of the performer or singer. We seek to be lifted up by men for approval based on what we doing and what we do and not who we really are.
That's right.
We offer our talents as a gift to God. God will take the credit for what we're doing. So we offer our talents as a gift to God. So when you're talented, you offer it as a gift to God.
That's right.
Say, God, take this talent that I have and multiply it for your purpose.
That's right.
For your glory. Multiply it for your glory.
That's right.
If I play the keys, if I play the instruments, if I'm doing anything, multiply it for your glory. I don't want the glory for it. If I play sports, you get the glory. Every interview, I will talk about you. Everything I do, I will talk about you.
That's right.
Then said, this good, right? Y'all follow along?
Yes. Hallelujah. Amen.
I'm going to start preaching a little bit. I thought I was preaching before, but I'm really going to start preaching in a minute. If you don't offer it to him, Satan takes credit for it. So if you don't offer that gift to him, Satan takes credit for it.
Sure does.
He takes credit. He grabs it. He grabs that ability and that talent. And now you're working for him. If you're not working with God, you're working with Satan. There's only two entities that you can work for on this earth. Either you work for God or you work for Satan. So which one are you going to choose? Who are you going to have in your camp? You going to have God or you going to have Satan? You can't have the middle. In the middle you have Satan. So you straddle the fence, you're still on Satan's side. All right? There is no way we can perform and use our talents and abilities without offering it up to God. The proper sacrifice is our bodies.
That's right.
The way we live and conduct our lives. People under affectation and control, it's hard to seek deliverance once you've been successful and prosperous off a deficit. Off of a deficit. Most celebrities have a deficit. They always pretend. Actors are pretending. They pretend all the time. Sometimes they don't even know how to get out of character. They pretend so much. You don't even know who they really is, who they really are. Social media is a pretender. You're looking at their lives being, oh, it's great, it's great, it's great. Ooh, they put their houses up, they put their cars up. Ooh, it's great. They pretending. Because in their house, their marriage is falling apart. I was there. I would put up all kind of stuff on social media. Ooh, I'm living in this house, I'm living in this car, I'm driving this nice ride. My marriage is falling apart. I was pretending to be something that looked good in front of people. We become pretenders. And we got to get delivered from being pretenders. With the demon of affectation, we got to get delivered from that. This woman here was one of the greatest singers ever. And slept with the demon of affectation. She would listen to gospel music. Singers like Fred Hammond. She would listen to all these gospel songs. She had gospel friends, people around her that said was in the gospel industry. They had no power though.
I know it.
They had no discernment.
Thank you.
Right? So Whitney Houston had the demon of affectation active in her life. She sacrificed her own well-being for the talent and ability, which ultimately led her to a life full of shame.
That's right.
Because the inner her could never be dealt with.
That's right.
Whenever she needed approval, she would perform. In her secret life, she would use drugs, drink excessively, and all doing this while listening to gospel music.
That's right.
She doing drugs while listening to gospel music. Your music don't have no effect on her.
Jesus.
Because you got a demon affectation too.
That's right. That's right.
It has no effect.
No effect.
Most celebrity singers, I don't even know how to get gospel singers anyway, how to become celebrities anyway. How do they become celebrities? How do you become a celebrity as a gospel singer? Demon of affectation. You felt like your talent could get you above anybody.
That's right.
I remember going to a concert last week. I went just because I wanted to see that demon in effect. Went to a concert last week. Man, what? Some of the people that y'all listen to, everybody listen to, we sing in church, we follow them all the time, they had a concert. Man, you should have, it was packed. First 6 rows was for them. Everybody standing up in the back. People in the overflow. We couldn't sit up front. Who are they? Who are them? Gospel singers? They're not celebrities. They're pretenders.
That's right. That's right.
They talk about, oh, miracle signs and wonders. We got miracle signs and wonders. There's no demonstration.
Wow. That's right. Wow. That's right.
No demonstration. What you won't get today is the demonstration. I guarantee that. That demon in her got her to kill herself.
Wow.
And guess what? She was listening to gospel music while she was putting that toxic thing in her veins.
That's right.
She was listening to Fred Hammond.
Yeah.
She was playing Fred Hammond songs. That's how ineffective your music is. That's how ineffective your music is. How you still singing? I would have quit a long time ago. If my music could not affect her to change her life, then I shouldn't be singing.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Demon of affectation. Because while he's still singing, everybody bringing him to church, his marriage fell apart. Nobody want to discuss that though. We still celebrate him. We still buying his music. And his marriage will stay together.
That's right.
Young pastors today deal with this demon of affectation. Young, old, they deal with this demon of affectation. They are compromising the gospel for the approval of powerful men.
Come on now.
They compromise the gospel. They don't even preach the truth no more. You can't get out. My wife was like, hey, why are you not listening to dude on TV? Because he's not preaching the truth.
Many of them. That's right.
Lifestyles with so-and-so. Who are you? Why your name on it anyway? Anytime you go to a church and you see ... ministries, your name should be nowhere on it. You're dealing with a demon of affectation.
Come on now.
You don't have a ministry.
That's right.
This is God's ministry.
God.
This is God's church.
Come on now.
You don't have a church.
Say so.
This is God's house.
Well,
Your preacher should be nowhere near this thing. and your picture's on it, then it ain't God.
Come on now.
It's you. It's you holding this thing up. It's your identity. It's your expectation. It's because you weren't seen, you weren't heard as a child. Now you want to get in church and you want to be seen and heard, so you put pictures of yourself everywhere. You put idols in God's house. You put gold temples in God's house. You don't put your picture nowhere in God's house. Your picture don't belong nowhere in God's house. This is what Jesus was talking about. You didn't hear them come out. He kicked the dinner thieves out.
He sure did. Amen. Praise that. Come on.
So just in case y'all don't get it, T.D. Jakes Ministries, George Meyer Ministries, Crumble Dollar Ministries don't exist. It's God's ministry.
God.
I know they're big and famous on TV, but they don't exist. Anytime they put their name in front of the ministry, it's affectation.
That's right. It ain't God.
It ain't God.
That's true.
And that's just the big name I'm talking about. It's still some small churches around here that got their names on everything.
Say so.
They got their names on all of it. They got pictures on books. They got pictures on CDs. What are you doing?
That's right.
Come on, man. This is demon of affectation. It's messing up leadership. This is why the church leadership is played with homosexuals in leadership position. Because it's demon, right? The enemy knows people don't have a chance if he get a demon in the pulpit and lead worship. The people don't have a chance if they get a demon in the pulpit and get a demon in lead worship.
That's right. That's right.
95% of the churches today have a demon of affectation leading them in worship and as pastors. God is looking to free his people from the plan of the Satan and his army of demons. So, you know, in scripture it talks about that Satan has ministers of righteousness. Don't be fooled. He has ministers of righteousness. Just because they got a microphone don't mean they're God. When it's God speaking. Right? Just because they're walking and they saying God don't mean it's God.
That's right.
Right? Just because they say they're prophets don't mean they're prophets.
That's right.
But remember, my dear friends, this is 1 Jude 17 and 19. But remember, my dear friends, that the apostle of our master, Jesus Christ, told us this will happen. In the last days, there will be people who don't take these things seriously anymore. They don't take preaching of the gospel seriously anymore.
Come on now.
They'll treat them like a joke. They'll treat it like a joke and make a religion of their own whims and lusts.
That's right.
These are the ones who split churches, thinking only of themselves. There's nothing to them. No sign of the Spirit.
No.
No sign of the Spirit of God.
Jesus.
And then sometimes the church we get clouded. We get clouded. We be like, ooh, they're anointed. Just because they say something don't mean they're anointed. You can get anybody to get up and read the scriptures and you feel like it's anointed.
Thank you.
But then when they go home, their lifestyle is jacked up. All right, let's move on to this pastor. He passed away too. Zachary Tim was a mega church pastor in Florida. It was all on TVN. They raised him up to be the next guy. But that demon of affectation got to him. Because nobody dealt with the real Zachary Tims. They wanted that charismatic guy that can hoop, that can holler, that can scream.
That's right.
They don't want sound doctrine.
Come on. Amen.
So the Florida church, mega church pastor died from mixing cocaine and heroin. Deadly combination, cocaine and heroin. Now, it's always funny how they always die. It ain't really funny because it's a soul that's dying, that's going to hell. It's always, but they're always in a hotel room by themselves.
They are. They are. Most of them are.
It's a demon of affectation.
Right.
But he's all on TVN. He was raised up. He had a mega church. Think about all the people that was affected by that. Not even him. But they raised him up. They still worship him. They have an anniversary every year of his death. Oh, God, he was so amazing.
Oh, Lord.
Now, come on, man. Now, this is an example of the demon of adaptation active in the pastor's life. He was so used to performing and being elevated by men that he didn't deal with the fact that he was a drug addict. But he was a mega church pastor. People followed him. People wanted to be around him. People loved him. They celebrated him. They applauded him. They put him on TVN, on Word Network. Many people followed. Many people listened. But he had a demon of affectation. And most people are walking around with a demon of affectation. This is why social media came out. This is why. So everyone can be noticed and be seen. So when Christ, this is the example of Christ. This is how Christ dealt with. So he wouldn't deal with affectation. So when Christ was feeding the 5,000 people with loaves of fish and bread, they started chanting, Messiah, 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 Messiah. What did he do? Walked away and turned around the mount and walked away. Even though he knew who he was, he had to go run. Because it wasn't time yet.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
So don't let anyone boast you up.
That's right.
Don't let anyone elevate you.
That's right. That's right.
Don't even do it on your job. Don't be fighting for promotion on your job. You do your job.
That's right.
And allow God to elevate you.
Glory to God.
Don't be backbiting people on your job to get promoted. That's a demon of affectation.
That's right.
You allow God to do it. Don't be fighting in the church over promotion either. Allow God to do it. Because when God does it, he does it right. He burns that thing out of you. So you won't get up here and be preaching your hurt across the pulpit. Now I'm going to say it, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that. Because you know, back in the day, my mama told me I won't be nothing. That's the demon of affectation. No. The demon is active in the church. It's the most dangerous demon in the church because nobody deals with it. We can go to these churches right now. We can release right now and go to these churches and the demon of affectation be sitting there in the pulpit. Nobody say nothing. And God wants your ears to be open. He wants you to see it. This is why I brought it up to you. So he can deliver you from it. So you won't get tormented. The demon of torment, the demon of bondage, and the demon of affectation. And all ties to unforgiveness. He wants you to get free. I remember I was following this guy, and you know, people were telling me, don't follow him, don't, why are you going? Why are you listening to him? But I was like, man, I got to see it. You know, how else can you learn? How can you learn? If you don't see what the false is, you won't know what the truth is. So God always shows you the false first. He allows you to see false, then he'll reveal truth to you. So you won't follow line in the false.
Come on now.
So what this is truth revealing itself to you. So you'll be aware of the false. But I had to see the false first, right? So this false prophet was prophesying, and this guy came in off the streets. He was homeless. Came in the service, and the woman was around him trying to, you know, he prayed for the guy, and the guy fell out, and women was around him trying to, you know, pray for him and everything, and this demon started acting up. And this is the first time I know that demons have a rank system. Demons have rank structure. Because this prophet came down, false prophet, I ain't gonna say prophet, because false prophet came down on whatever he was doing. He gathered around the women. It was like, move out the way, move out the way. He know my name. He know who I am. He knows exactly who I am. Man, he was so arrogant and boastful and pride. He knows. I'm like, man, this dude, he's a demon. He put on rank on another demon. This is the first time I've seen it.
Oh, wow.
He said, he stood over, he's like, you know who I am. You know my name. Get out of here. Get up. Like, know Jesus' name. He did it in his own authority. In his own authority. He did not say Jesus at all. It was off his own authority. And that made me know that demons have authority over other demons. And unforgiveness is the gateway to that. This is why I talked about it today. So how can you go home after a message like this and deal with unforgiveness towards your husband or your wife? You better forgive them. So what that marriage does.
That's right.
I don't care if that man is going through what he's going through. You better forgive him. Because you can draw him in with your forgiveness.
That's right. That's right.
You can draw him with your forgiveness.
That's right.
You can say, baby, I love you. I forgive you. Matter of fact, I'm going to piss you some dinner.
That's right.
I won't make your plate. Alright? That's the truth. You show him the love of God, and he'll be set free. I talked to my wife last night, and I was like, sometimes, and this is kind of most of the times with God, God wants his kingdom to be established. And sometimes people lose people to accomplish that mission. His kingdom is far more important than a person there that's there to destroy your kingdom.
That's right.
Destroy your ability to get there. God would take somebody out of your life to get you into the kingdom. To get you following his path. People losing wives, people losing husbands, losing kids. But it's not for you to harp on that fact. It's for you to say, God, what can I do to get closer to you? And then it could be a point in time where God is trying to bring you to the kingdom. So you can do a work for him. Jesus Christ was the perfect example in the Garden of Gethsemane. He prayed and said, God, I want this cup to pass from me. I don't want to go through this. So just imagine if God would answer his prayers. Just imagine if God would answer your prayers. God, I want my grandmother saved. I want her to rise up. I want her to live. I want her to be. Just imagine if God would have said yes, but he knows the plan. We don't. Don't stop praying, but you got to really think about it. God, let your will be done. That was Jesus' prayer. Let your will be done. Not my will, but your will be done. Because that's the only way I'm going to be able to go through this cross. Not my will. Right? So I'm going to offer the floor. Like I said, demonstration. Because people talk about miracle signs and wonders. People talk about demons being cast out. And they talk about it. And we go to churches and they talk about it. And then when the altar call comes, you go for deliverance. And they send you down the road, down the block, down the corner. For a piece of paper for membership.
That's right.
And then they call that deliverance. That's not deliverance.
No.
And it's not a shame to need deliverance. This is why you're in the house of God. The Bible said, go to your elders for prayer in a time of need. That means you come to the house of God in a time of need for prayer. No matter what it is, it's not embarrassing. There's no embarrassment about it. No embarrassment if you have something that you're doing in your life and you need somebody to pray for you. It's not embarrassment. It's not. It's about being free. So you can accomplish the will of the Father. It's about being free. We all want to be free. Nobody comes to church and want to be bound and go home and be bound again. What's the point of coming to church? If you leave out the church and you leave the same way you came in, you're in the wrong ministry. You're part of the wrong church. There's no way that's supposed to happen. Why did God create the church? To fight the enemy. To show his glory on the earth. And we got to, some of these churches gonna have to close. And I asked God on the way here, I was driving here, my wife fell asleep on me. And my kids were in the back, and I think they fell asleep too, but I had some time to pray, to talk to God. And I said, God, what's the word for 2018? What is the word for 2018 for these people, for your people? What's the word? What do you want your people to know? Because I can give you a word that you're going to get a new house tomorrow, or a new car. That's what the world is going to take. want to give you something that's going to impact your soul.
That's right.
And let you know that the church is at its darkest moments. It's at its darkest time. For the next 3 years, y'all will see the church at its darkest moments. The word becomes scarce. That don't mean that you can't find a Bible, because you can download the Bible app. That don't mean literally the word is going to be scarce. You go to the bookstore and see 1,000 Bibles. Walmart got 1,000 Bibles. But the word is the word of God is being preached going to be scarce. Nobody's going to preach sound doctrine anymore.
Come on now.
They're going to be doing it for the applause of men. They're going to be doing it for offerings.
That's right. Wow.
So, we got to get right. We got to do it the right way. And the only way we can do it the right way is believing God for deliverance, total deliverance. Not just partially delivered. Don't come to church thinking that you're going to get partially delivered. You got to believe that you're going to get whole. You're going to become whole and new.
That's right.
And made new. Right? So I'm going to open the floor. So if anyone needs prayer for anything, no matter what it is, you need prayer, just come up. It's okay.